Conor McGregor is not at that
Conor
point in his
McGregor has
career
better
anymore.
grappling than Dustin Poirier.
No, he doesn't. He got beat up on the ground. He
survived longer than
got
Dustin
beat
Poirier
up on
did
the
with
ground.
Khabib.
He got beat up on the ground. And Khabib didn't shoot on him the entire third round. Khabib stood with him.
So?
If he wanted to do that, he could have done that in an earlier round. He could have.
Conor won
Conor
won the round.
Because Khabib chose to stand with him. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Hardcore and the Casual podcast. I'm your host, Justin, and on today's episode, I am joined by Elijah. How's it going, Elijah?
Everything's going good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Coming off a great Halloween weekend. Brandon Moreno beat Armin Albazi. Aaron Blanchfield beat Rose. I guess it's all down to how you see the fourth round.
Yeah.
I didn't get to watch much of it. I was having a party that night, so I really was not paying too much attention. It was on in the background, and I have not gone back to watch them because I am a busy person. But I did want to go back and watch the fourth round of Blanchfield versus Rose, so I did do that, and it was a very close round. It all came down to who you gave that fourth round to. That's what I'm hearing from everyone. I checked MMA decisions. I checked all of the sites.
Yeah.
Comes down to that fourth round. I don't know who I would have given it to. I watched it. It was a very, extremely close round. If I had to pick on that night, I probably would have given it to Aaron, if not a draw. But you don't just throw draws around like that.
Yeah.
So I probably would have given it to Aaron, which means I probably do agree with the decision. But really, that third round was very close. And if you gave it to Rose, I can completely see why. But other than that, didn't watch mainly any of this card. I was pretty much distracted the entire time. Brandon Moreno caught my attention a few times because he was beating up Amir, which was... I don't know how you would put it. Amir looked like he was the beaten man at the end, and I guess I'd have to go back and watch to really see what Brandon Moreno was able to do. But looking at MMA decisions, the scorecards kind of leaned Amir in the fifth round, and Amir in the first round. From what I saw in the fifth round, I don't know how that's possible because I did pay attention to a bit of the fifth round. I don't know how it's possible that was the closest of all the rounds.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back and watch these fights. They do sound like they were entertaining to watch in some ways. But other than that, not really much to talk about. Didn't really pay attention to the fights. Don't want to go too much more into them. Brandon Moreno is coming off of a couple of losses, so he is going to need a big win, and there's really no one above him to get that big win, if you know what I mean. Like he lost to Brandon Royval, and that's the only guy above him. They're not going to do that fight again. Yeah. So, or maybe they do. Who knows? The UFC does whatever they want, so who knows? Maybe a rematch against Kai Kara-France. Yeah, no matter what, Brandon Moreno's next step forward is basically a rematch. There's no one else in the division to really fight other than a rematch.
Has he lapped the division pretty much?
Other than Pantoja, pretty much. I mean, Royval beat him in the last time, but Brandon Moreno does have a win over him, so I can see them doing, what do you call it? A three-peat, not a three-peat. The rubber match, the trilogy. The trilogy. But I don't think that they do that. But maybe they do. Who knows? At this point, because I think Royval came in short notice last time and beat Brandon Moreno. So maybe they'd be like, all right, let's do a full camp and try this one more time. But Brandon Moreno has 2 wins over Kai Kara-France. So that doesn't really make much sense. There's really not much for Brandon Moreno to do at this point. Other than rematches.
Kai Kara-France fight for the title?
He's not. The Kai Asakura guy is fighting for the title on his debut, and not Kai Kara-France. So
on his
debut, was so close. The name Kai is in the co-main event. Yeah, it's just not Kara-France. It's Kai Asakura.
Imagine that just coming on your debut, like, yeah, I got a championship fight coming.
Yeah, apparently it's only happened like 4 times in the UFC's history.
Wow.
But
isn't that the best?
Yeah. But other than that, not really much to talk about. Aaron Blanchfield has lost to Manon Fiorot, so this doesn't really do much for Aaron in the division. Yeah. Not really much consequential happened other than Pedro Munoz losing and Zahabi is now in the top 15 at bantamweight. That's really the biggest change of the night. Other than that, I think we've got some stuff to talk about real quick. Moving forward, so Jones versus Stipe comes up in 2 weeks. We're going to talk about that next week.
Yeah.
That'll be our show. We're going to basically just predict, and it'll all come down to Jones versus Stipe talk next week. It's probably going to be an hour worth of it. So today, I think we should look a little further ahead with the recent Bilal Muhammad pullout.
Yes.
Are we looking at a Kamaru Usman interim title fight against Rakhmonov?
Yes. I mean, they say you can throw Jack Della
Maddalena?
Jack Della Maddalena.
Okay. So you'd rather Jack Della Maddalena, JDM, we could call him JDM.
Yeah, JDM.
So you'd rather JDM in the interim title fight than Usman?
I don't know, because it's like, how do these guys even deserve another title fight?
Okay, but let me ask you this. Who was the last guy that Jack Della Maddalena beat?
I have no clue.
Exactly my point. It was Gilbert Burns. He beat Gilbert Burns. He knocked him out, and he was losing that fight. We have now gone on to witness Gilbert Burns get beat up by Bilal Muhammad and get beat up by Sean Brady.
Okay, short camp.
But
he had just fought Masvidal.
Who?
Gilbert Burns. He had fought.
But that was against Bilal Muhammad. But he also got beat up by Sean Brady on a full camp. 5 rounds, beat him up all 5 rounds. Jack Della Maddalena lost almost 14 minutes of that fight and then won with a knockout in the last minute. So, yeah, he could get it done. He can get the knockout in the last minute, losing on the cards.
Yeah.
But he was losing to Gilbert Burns, someone that we've already seen Sean Brady destroy recently.
Yeah.
So doesn't that mean Sean Brady should get the next title fight instead, even though he's lost to Bilal Muhammad?
No, because then you have to think about Usman.
Yeah, but who deserves it more? That's my point. I think that Usman deserves it more than both of those guys because I don't think a Gilbert Burns win is a very credible win anymore. It used to be you beat Gilbert Burns, you get a title fight. Nowadays, everyone has beaten Gilbert Burns, so does it...
Where is Leon?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, Leon hasn't been around since he lost the title. I think that he should be looked at before Usman, but I haven't heard any talk of Leon Edwards.
Like, Leon was just the champion. Literally.
Yeah, he was, but I don't...
And he beat Usman, so there's an argument for that.
He beat Usman twice.
Yes.
One convincingly, and one was the knockout, but that second one was pretty convincing that he beat Usman.
Exactly. And I'm sure he could beat JDM.
So Jack Della Maddalena beat Gilbert Burns March of this year.
Yeah.
Sean Brady beat Gilbert Burns a little bit after that.
Okay.
But before that, Jack Della Maddalena had a split decision with Kevin Holland, someone who isn't even ranked anymore. And before that, had a split decision with a debuting Hafez on short notice.
Tune-up fights. There were tune-up fights.
They were split decisions. And before that, he beat Randy Brown. I mean, Jack Della Maddalena's really his only big-time win.
Randy Brown's a savage, though.
Yeah, he is, but he's not even top 15. Jack Della Maddalena's only big win is against Gilbert Burns. That's it. And Gilbert Burns is on a 3-fight losing streak.
He had beat Masvidal.
And Masvidal hasn't won since 2019. What's your point? Jorge Masvidal is not the guy he used to be. And he beat...
They're thinking about bringing him back.
Yeah, for a one-off fight against Leon Edwards. And that's probably what Leon Edwards is waiting for. He probably doesn't even want the title
But think about
fight.
that. If Masvidal can do that, he should get an interim title fight because he's basically fighting the now past champion. Because what if he beats Leon?
What do you mean?
If Masvidal beats Leon,
if Masvidal wins, then he's back in the title conversation. But let's be honest, Masvidal is going to get put to sleep.
By Leon?
By Leon, yes.
Masvidal.
Masvidal just lost a boxing match to Nate Diaz. Yes, Masvidal is going to get put to sleep by Leon Edwards.
What?
Leon Edwards beat the shit out of
Nate.
Leon Edwards beat the shit out of Nate Diaz. Beat the shit out of him. Yeah, he got rocked with one punch in the last round. Other than that, he got the shit beat out of him. Sean Brady, his last 2 wins were against Gilbert Burns and Calvin Gastelum.
But he got him with the Stockton slap. He got him with the Stockton slap.
Who gives a fuck? Everyone catches everyone with a lucky strike every once in a while. It was a lucky strike because Leon
It wobbled him. Slap wobbled him.
Yeah, because Leon Edwards started to take the round off, which is exactly what Usman did like 2 years later against Leon Edwards. It's the exact same thing.
He took a round off?
Usman, yeah, in the 5th round. He didn't go for anything in the 5th round, and he got caught with a head kick. That's what happens sometimes. Sometimes you get caught with something when you stop being in the fight, and that's what happened. And he's learned from that. Sean Brady has 2 wins in a row right now against Gilbert Burns and against Calvin Gastelum, 2 former title contenders. Jack Della Maddalena has 1 win against 1 former title contender, Gilbert Burns. That's it. Sean Brady definitely deserves the title match more than JDM.
So give me 3 guys you think you could put in that title match against Rakhmonov.
I mean, it's either Usman, Leon, or Sean Brady, because we now know that Ian Gary is fighting Joaquin Buckley like the week before, or the week after. The week after Ian Gary in Tampa versus Joaquin Buckley.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not going to be Ian Gary, and it's not going to be Joaquin Buckley. So now we're just left with Usman, Leon, and Sean Brady. Sean Brady, I don't think you do it. He lost to the reigning champ, Bilal Muhammad. I don't think that there's a need to put him in an interim title fight. I think it falls on it's either Leon or it's Usman.
Yeah.
But Leon doesn't seem like he wants it, because I think that they would have given it to him if Leon asked for it. Doesn't look like he wants Rakhmonov. So now it falls to Usman's shoulders. Does Usman get the title fight?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Does he beat Rakhmonov?
No, but he definitely gives him a good run for his money for 5 rounds. I think Usman can go all 5 rounds
And not win?
Yeah.
I feel like going all 5 rounds would be in Usman's advantage.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't win.
No.
So then how would Rakhmonov win?
Submission.
In the 5th round?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a hardy pick right there.
Yeah.
But he does have the most. He does have like 18 finishes in 18 fights, so it's not crazy to think that he would submit Usman.
Wouldn't be surprised if he finished him on the feet.
But if Usman beat Rakhmonov, that'd be like one of the best comebacks. That'd probably be comeback of the year if he beats Rakhmonov.
Oh yeah. Because then he could call out Leon again, and then he
would call out Bilal.
He would call out Bilal.
They'd post the podcast and then set up the fight. And then Leon gets pushed off to the side to go fight a washed-up Gamebred. No?
Yeah.
I think that's the fight to make. Leon versus Jorge in Jorge's real retirement match.
BMF.
No need to put... Leon Edwards is not a BMF.
Yes, he is.
No, he is not.
Yes, he is.
Leon Edwards is not a BMF. Leon Edwards couldn't finish Colby Covington.
All right, they could
He got
call
beat
it,
up by Bilal Muhammad. He almost lost to Usman. Like, come on, this guy's not a BMF.
They could call it a PPV title, a pay-per-view title.
Why? Leon Edwards doesn't sell pay-per-views.
Champion for the night.
No, there's nothing on the line. It's just bad blood. And it probably doesn't main event anything.
A bad blood title.
It's probably just a co-main event to something.
It could be like a bad blood title.
No, the UFC does not need to create titles whenever they need them. That's WWE's thing. The UFC does not need to do that. There doesn't need to be a new kind of BMF title every week.
It could happen.
No, that makes the real titles less important. There's no need to put anything on the line. Just have it as a co-main event, and it'll be fine. Have it as the co-main event to Usman versus Bilal or Rakhmonov versus Bilal. I'd be fine with that. And then winner takes on the winner of the next fight. Boom. Easy. But I did want to bring up, where does this leave Islam Makhachev? I thought Islam Makhachev wanted to move up in weight and challenge for the welterweight title. So now if you have this whole kerfuffle going on at welterweight, now what? Islam is going to have to wait longer?
No. Islam goes... And he has already a fight.
Yeah,
I believe.
He's going to be fighting Arman in January.
He's going to be fighting Arman, but Ilya Taporia should be moving up and fighting Islam. Because when Islam first fought Volkanovski, took him 5 rounds to finish him. Couldn't finish him.
It makes no sense to bring him up right now. He's still got business in the division. He's still got Volkanovski. He's still got Evloev. He's still got Diego Lopez. If he can make it past those guys, then yeah, he moves up.
Those guys... Water. Volk shouldn't even get another title. He should. He's gonna get done even worse. Boom, that's out the way. Blah 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 blah. He paved the way. Blah blah blah. Ilya wastes his time. Next, he beats Lopez, takes Lopez out the game. Avoyev gone. Moves up, challenges Islam, finishes Islam. Islam's done. He carries both titles. There's only one fight for him to make.
What? The Conor McGregor fight?
That's the Conor McGregor fight.
Conor McGregor isn't going to make it that long. What you just projected would happen in like 2027. Conor McGregor is not going to be main eventing a pay-per-view.
Ilia Topuria could do like 3 fights a year. He's the most active champion.
No, he isn't.
Yes.
Alex Pereira is the most active champion. I hope you know that. 3 fights in a year, 4 fights in 365 days. He's the most active champion.
Well, yeah.
Ilia Topuria has had...
And he's the best.
Ilia Topuria has 3 fights in the last 2 years. So, not active. And I love Ilia Topuria. I'll defend Ilia Topuria all day. I just know he's not the most active guy. He's fought twice this year. He fought once the year before that. And then, like, maybe twice the year before that. Yeah. He fights 1 to 2 times a year. That's not very active. What you're projecting would probably not happen until 2027 at the rate he's going right now. Conor McGregor's not going to be fighting main events in 2027.
Conor McGregor's probably going to main event soon. 2025.
Against who?
Islam.
No. Why?
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
What has Conor McGregor done to deserve a lightweight title fight other than be popular? Is that the only reason? Because
bad blood.
That's not going to fly.
Bad blood.
No. Dana White is not...
BMF title.
No, Dana White is not going... Neither of them are BMFs. Let's be honest. Conor McGregor? Conor McGregor is not one of the BMFs anymore. Conor McGregor is a washed-up old man. He is not one of the BMFs. He is not. Come on, man. He's not one of the BMFs. There's no way.
He posts his training.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything. If he could pick up a couple of wins and prove that he's still, like, a contender, then maybe. But
he's still ranked.
No, he's not. He hasn't been ranked since he broke his leg. Literally has been out of contention, out of the rankings for like 3 years now. So, Conor McGregor does not deserve a BMF title. Fight. Conor McGregor would need a win against someone like Michael Chandler first. There's no way he gets a title fight. There's no way he fights for a BMF title. The Max fight is not going to happen. I think Conor's going to fight someone like Dan Hooker, someone easy.
That's an easy fight.
That is an easy fight. Dan Hooker is an easy fight.
And Conor McGregor can win that fight.
Yes, Conor McGregor could win that fight because Dan Hooker is an easy fight. And I'm a Dan Hooker fan, but Dan Hooker has not impressed me since the Poirier fight, and that was 4 years ago. He has done not... I mean, he could take a shot. He took the head kick from Jalen Turner. He can stuff some takedowns. He stuffed some takedowns against Gamrot. Those were both split decisions, though. The guy that's going to beat Conor McGregor is not split decisioning Gamrot and Jalen Turner. So, he also lost to Islam. He lost to Arnold Allen, a weight beneath.
Dan Hooker fought Islam?
Yeah, he got Kimura in under like 3 minutes. So, he's just not on that level. I think Conor wants the fight because he knows that. I mean, he's a tough opponent, but come on, man. He's not at that level. He should not be top 5. I mean, what has he done to be top 5 ranked?
If he wins that fight, he's top 5.
If he beats Conor?
No. If Conor beats Hooker.
No.
Yeah.
He maybe top 10.
Because the win over Dustin Poirier, boom, you got to put that right then and there.
That was in 2014 at featherweight. That has nothing to do with it anymore.
He was winning the second fight.
No, he wasn't.
The third fight.
No, he wasn't.
He was winning the third fight.
He got taken down and beat up on the ground for the whole first round.
No, his foot. Conor was about to knock Dustin Poirier out.
No, he wasn't. He was getting beat up on the ground.
Nah, bro.
He got up in the last 5 seconds of the round and then broke his leg. He was losing. If you look it up, he lost the first round.
He was going to win that fight. You didn't see what I saw.
Speculation.
He was outstriking him.
No, he wasn't. He actually had less strikes than Dustin Poirier.
He had more powerful strikes.
No, he didn't. Dustin Poirier rocked him and then took him down.
That led to the contribution of the fight ending.
No.
Yes.
Conor McGregor is not the same guy. Conor McGregor is not the same guy he used to be. When's Conor McGregor's last win? Against a washed-up Donald Cerrone on a 5-fight losing streak? When's the last one before that? Eddie Alvarez in 2016. We got to go all the way back to 2016.
At least he had a win. He beat Donald Cerrone.
Yeah, a washed-up 5-fight losing streak, Donald Cerrone.
But Conor McGregor showed heart, character, development.
Yeah, but Cowboy didn't. That's the thing. Cowboy didn't show any of that heart. He didn't show any of that fight. He didn't show any of that grit.
Was just too many. He was too many levels ahead.
No, he got him with a lucky fucking elbow that broke his nose, and it took Cowboy out of the fight. Cowboy was out of the fight long before the fight started. He admitted it was the biggest spotlight of his career, and it went to his head, and he didn't feel the same going into that fight camp. And I get that. That's fighting Conor McGregor for you. That happens to people. But some people
GOAT status.
No, but some people don't have that effect. Like Dustin Poirier didn't have that effect on him.
He lost.
Yeah, because he had already lost in 2014. So when he came back and fought him in 2021, he wiped the floor with him twice.
No, he didn't finish that fight. Speculation,
but he did knock him out a couple months earlier. Cold. Only time Conor's ever been knocked out, and it's by Dustin Poirier. So
they could run that fight back.
Conor McGregor is not at that point.
Conor McGregor has better
anymore.
grappling than Dustin Poirier.
No, he doesn't. He got beat up on the ground. He
survived longer than
got
Dustin
beat
Poirier
up on
did
the
with
ground.
Khabib.
He got beat up on the ground. And Khabib didn't shoot on him the entire third round. Khabib stood with him.
So?
If he wanted to do that, he could have done that in an earlier round. He could have.
Conor won the round.
Because Khabib chose to stand with him. He chose, okay, I want to punch this guy in the face this round because he has no threat. He poses no threat to me, so I'm not going to take him down. I'm just going to strike with him. And Khabib was actually doing well with the striking. So he didn't need to. He could have done that in an earlier round. He didn't want to.
Too high level.
Yeah, Khabib is too high level. You're right. He is.
Conor could have easily won the rematch.
No, he couldn't. Why are we still talking about Conor McGregor like he's a relevant fighter in 2024?
Conor McGregor is just that guy, man. You just can't. You got to bite the facts.
Okay, what's the best thing he's ever done in his career?
Double champ first.
Okay, when was that? When was that?
Like 2014.
Yeah, it was. I'll answer it for you. It was 2016, and that was 8 years ago.
Listen, he started.
8 years. 8 years.
He made history.
How old were you? You were not even in high school yet when Conor McGregor.
2016, I was in the 6th grade.
Yeah, exactly. So you were not even. You didn't even know what a Conor McGregor was at that point.
I did, because I also knew about John Jones.
Okay.
Those are the only two fights. And Rampage.
That is fine, but what I am saying is that was so long ago. He is not the same guy anymore. He's not. There's no way he is. No one ever is.
He has like 50 million followers.
Okay, that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything.
How
many people follow you does not make you a good fighter or not.
How can you discredit his ability?
Because he's only been losing. And he hasn't been fighting. And people get worse when they take that long of a time off. Just because John Jones comes back from 3 years off and gets a favorable title match and wins does not mean that anyone can do that. Especially in the more competitive divisions of 155 and 170. Those are the more competitive divisions. It's going to be a lot harder for Conor to come back from a long layoff and pick up wins in those divisions than it was for Jones at a heavier weight class with less skill. Especially against a guy who was less talented in the ways that John Jones needed him to be.
No.
Jones wiped the floor with Gane because Gane didn't know how to wrestle. That's the point. Conor is trying to fight guys like Michael Chandler. And come on. Michael Chandler would have beaten Conor McGregor.
No.
I don't know how you still think Conor McGregor is a high level fighter at this point. He has done nothing to prove that he is still high level. What has he done recently to prove that he is still at that level?
Have you seen his training?
Training means nothing.
Training means everything.
Especially when you're training with Conor McGregor, who everyone is afraid of and no one will actually touch, and they'll just let him use them as punching bags. Because if you do anything to him, he's going to yell at you, and you're going to be kicked out of the gym. Because he's a diva.
He's a winner.
He's a diva. Well, like, why? If you were sparring with Conor McGregor, would you go all out?
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't, because he would kick you out. He'd be like, "Nah, get out of my gym." Come on.
You're not gonna try to hurt the guy you're sparring. Like,
Yeah, but no one tries against him. All the footage you see of Conor McGregor sparring is them just standing there, not throwing at him, and he's just laying on combos on them, and they're not doing anything. Like, this isn't
ferocious power.
No, it's literally just he uses people as punching bags. And that's the footage you're seeing, is like his best footage of him using people as punching bags because they're not fighting back. Especially guys who weigh less than him. Like, you could tell all the footage of him training are all with guys that are like 20 pounds lighter than him.
He's beefed up. He's been working out.
Exactly. He should be training with bigger guys. But he doesn't want to be because he doesn't want to show footage of him getting bitched.
He's cutting down. It's not his real weight class.
Yeah, he's fighting bantamweights. Like, come on. All the footage is of him fighting
those
35
guys are like
pounds.
lightweights, featherweights.
Look how much bigger he is than them. Come on.
Wide shoulders. You can't make this up.
Yeah, but still, you cannot take his training footage where he's training with like 4 and 2 MMA fighters and then equate that to one of the greatest fighters in the world.
Conor
Like,
could
sure,
probably whoop belong.
Sure, he's whooping a bunch of guys, a bunch of amateur MMA fighters. So what? Like, come on. He's not training with high-level guys.
Yeah, they are. Yo, literally, Conor McGregor, you just can't see everything. You can't see all the best footage, his opponents.
But you also won't see his worst footage.
Ilia Topuria doesn't post his worst footage.
Ilia Topuria barely posts his footage, and that's how all fighters should be. Why would you want to post your footage of you training?
Just to show that, I'm working out, I'm getting back into it.
But Ilia Topuria is in it. He's the world champ. Conor McGregor is the one that needs to prove that he's back in it by getting a fight. He pulled out of a fight because of a broken toe. Alex Pereira took that fight with a broken toe.
He had the rest from the Donald Cerrone fight.
2 years later, 4 years later, that Donald Cerrone fight happened in 2020. It's 2024. Conor McGregor had a broken toe, and he chose to pull out. Alex Pereira also had a broken toe and fought Yuri Prohaska.
Age gets to you.
Yeah, it does. And Conor McGregor's at that age where it got to him. He's not a high-level fighter anymore. Thanks for admitting it.
He still is.
No, he's not.
So you're telling me he can't come back?
No, I'm
he's
telling
too
you
far
that,
gone.
I'm telling you that if he does come back, he's going to lose.
Nah.
Whatever you say. We could have our differing opinions. But first, Conor McGregor actually has to come back first. And he hasn't done that. And I don't think he will. I don't think you're ever going to see a Conor McGregor fight.
He had a cold, too.
What does that have to do with anything?
He couldn't fight. He had a cold.
Many guys have fought with colds and staph infections and worse.
That's disgusting.
Exactly. But they do it because they're fighters.
Yeah,
Conor McGregor never used to pull out of fights.
Conor's a professional.
Conor McGregor had like a broken rib one time and fought. He never used to pull out of fights.
He was in his 20s.
Yeah, and that's my point. He's an old man now. He's not in his prime, no matter what you want to say. He's not in his prime. He's not a title fight contender anymore. But he might beat a Dan Hooker, because I also don't think Dan Hooker's that high level anymore.
Beats Poirier.
He lost to Poirier.
Beat him.
Who?
Conor McGregor.
When?
Back in the day.
Exactly. That was 10 years ago.
A win's a win.
That was 10
the
years
ago. The
ago.
score is 1-1.
That's like saying, oh, Chuck Liddell can beat Alex Pereira because he went on a 6-fight win streak, 6-fight knockout streak back in 2006.
No, that
is exactly what you're trying to say. That is exactly what you're trying to say.
That's incomparable. That's incomparable.
It's literally
because
exactly
we're talking about
the same.
guys who fought each other. They didn't fight each other.
Who?
Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor.
Yeah, so?
Liddell and Pereira didn't fight.
Yeah, but it was 10 years ago. And we've already seen what happened when they fought 3 years ago. Dustin Poirier won twice.
No, he didn't. He won once.
He won once, and then he won the second time too.
He didn't win. It was a doctor stoppage.
That's a win.
No, it's not.
It's literally a TKO in the books.
He broke his ankle from right here.
Yes, Poirier broke Conor McGregor's ankle.
No.
Yes.
No. You didn't. He stepped on it backwards. You didn't watch it. You gotta watch it.
Yeah, because he went for a front kick. Poirier blocked it with his forearm. It cracked the bone, and then when he went to go step back, putting pressure on it, slid the bones apart. He cracked it going to hit Poirier, and then he slid him apart when he stepped back. It was already broken when he went for the attack on Poirier. Poirier broke it, and then Conor moved it apart by stepping on it.
It was already broken.
Yeah, Poirier broke it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Poirier broke his leg.
He couldn't have.
He originally fractured it in the fight in January, and then they fought again a couple months later, and then he broke it. He was the whole reason why Conor's leg broke.
Twice injured.
Yes.
Conor's a champion.
And he can't do it anymore because he's an old man. But I'm done talking about Conor McGregor, that irrelevant guy. Once he fights again, then he'll be relevant again, and I'm sure I'm going to want to talk about him more. But he's irrelevant right now, so what does it matter? Other than that, I think it's time to move on to some predictions. So, we have a reigning 1FC double champ coming to the UFC this Saturday. It's going to be Reiner de Ridder. He was a 2-Division 1FC champ. He is 17-2 versus Gerald Meerschaert, who's the guy that got knocked out by Chimaev in like 10 seconds.
Damn.
Next up, Cody Garbrandt versus Miles Johns. Miles Johns is 15-2-0. And then Neil Magny at 29-13 versus Carlos Pretes, 20-6. I think we'd do those three. Oh, by the way, last week, I have no clue who won the predictions. We only did the last three, and the Derek Lewis fight got called off. Who did you have, Aaron Blanchfield or Rose?
I had Rose.
Who did you have, Moreno or Albazi?
Moreno.
I had Albazi, and I had Blanchfield.
Who was before that?
That was the Derek Lewis fight. But that means I retained.
What was the fight before that?
We didn't do any. We did the three. So the Derek Lewis fight got called off, and we tied on our predictions.
Interim.
No. I won the belt.
I get an interim.
I'm champ. I am champ.
There's
no interim. You get to predict right now. So no interim. You get another shot right now.
This is the interim right now.
No, this is for the title right now.
Okay. So I was interim.
No, you weren't.
I am the interim.
You get a title shot every week. We both get title shots every week. There's no need for an interim when you get a title shot every week. Reiner de Ridder versus Gerald Meerschaert. 3, 2, 1. Reiner de Ridder. Okay, we both agree on de Ridder. All right, Cody Garbrandt versus Miles Johns. 3, 2, 1. Miles Johns. Wow, okay, you went for Cody Garbrandt, I went for Miles Johns. Cody Garbrandt used to be my second favorite fighter, by the way. He slid off that list real quick, though. Miles Johns, you got Cody Garbrandt. And then lastly, Neil Magny versus Carlos Pretes. 3, 2, 1. Neil Magny.
Pretes.
I got Neil Magny, you got Carlos Pretes.
Wait, what's the fight before the first one?
Before Meerschaert?
Yeah.
Versus de Ridder. It's Ricky Tercios versus Bernardo Sapauge. No clue. I have no clue about it. I know about Ricky Tercios. He won the Ultimate Fighter. I have no clue about.
You want to bet on that fight?
Not really. No. Zaleski dos Santos is fighting the guy that wheel kicked Sean Strickland.
Versus who?
Some random guy. He was supposed to fight Nicholas Dalby. But that fight got canceled. Trayshawn Gore, Damon Blackshear versus Cody Stamann. Oh, wow, that's a cool fight. No, yeah, I definitely want to just keep it to those two fights. So we're dead even split, so that means I got 2 ways to win. I'm cool with that, you know? Unless you want to change one of your picks, and then it's a 50-50. Or you could change to Gerald Meerschaert, and I'll keep Reiner de Ridder. Reiner de Ridder is a kickboxer, and Gerald Meerschaert is a grappler. No? You want to keep her to Ryder?
I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep my picks.
Okay, you're gonna keep your picks. All right. Well then,
I'm saying let's add picks.
No. There's no need.
Let's add one more pick. One more pick.
No. Why? Why would I do that? Why would I do that?
Take the risk. Take the gamble.
I don't want to take the risk. No, I don't. Come on, man. I don't want to take a risk. Fine. Cody Stamann versus Damon Blackshear. Cody Stamann has 21 wins, 7 losses, and 1 draw. Blackshear has 14 wins, 7 losses, and 1 draw. 3, 2, 1. Damon Blackshear.
What's the other guy?
Cody Stamann.
Cody Stamann.
Okay. Well, then we got another split. That's fine. All right.
One more. Let's go.
No. We're done. We're at 39 minutes already. We're done. Next week, look forward to our predictions for John Jones versus Stipe. Also, look forward to our predictions for Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson too.
Oh yeah.
Can't forget about that. We've got 2 predictions coming to you next week, and just announcing it right now, we also have 2 live reactions coming to you that week. I am going to be posting live reactions to Paul versus Tyson. That'll probably be a shorter video. We're probably only going to do the Tyson versus Paul one. Might be a 5-minute video of reactions. Who knows? Might be a 5-second video, depending on how long it takes for one of them to knock each other out. Who knows? That video, look forward to, probably Friday night, Saturday morning-ish. Then there will be a live reaction to Jones versus Stipe, probably coming out either the Sunday after or the Monday after, depending how long it takes to edit. But we will be doing the whole card for Jones versus Stipe, the whole main card, and that will be coming out in about 2 weeks. Elijah, if you want to come and watch the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight, will be at around 12:30 on Friday. So I don't know if you're going to be at work, but if you get off and it'll be the weekend, if you want to come watch Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson at 12:30 on Friday night, feel free. We're going to do the live reactions for that, and then if you can make it on Saturday, I know you work. If you can make it on Saturday, we'll be doing Jones versus Stipe 2 live reaction. So that is about it from us for now. Do you have anything you want to say before I sign us off?
I need to see that interview with Usman and Bilal.
And I think the best shot at getting that is Usman interim title fight.
Yes.
But I'd also be really sad if he beat Rakhmonov. Like, really sad. Like, to the point I don't even care about the fucking podcast at that point. Wow. I just want to see Rakhmonov be the world champ.
Yeah.
But I think that's it from us. Thank you, Elijah, for being on the Hardcore and the Casual podcast. I'll see you next week for predictions for Paul versus Tyson and Jones versus Stipe. I have been your host, Justin. Please like, share, and subscribe. Catch us back next week. And peace out.